Hi everyone, it is April 28, 2022, and you're watching the crypto market update in Awesome 10x with me, Nikki. So let's begin. Today, Thursday, is actually a very eventful day for the markets because the equities are gonna see Apple and Amazon's earnings come out after hours. Now, as a crypto fan, you might not be thinking that equities have a huge correlation with Bitcoin, but it actually has. So let's take a look at Bitcoin dollar today. So you're seeing that Bitcoin dollar today is still actually at lower highs. You're seeing that crash since $69,000. And since then, the market has been in a small range between 34,000 and 48,000. There is, of course, a huge risk today, however, that if Apple goes down and Amazon goes down, you might actually see Bitcoin correct all the way down. And 48 minus 34 is about a $14,000 drop. It could ultimately fall to as low as below 30, either it retests here at about 29,000, or it actually ultimately goes even lower and corrects all the way to 20K. So I'm not trying to scare you, but Apple and Amazon are truly the bellwethers of the entire market. And Apple today actually generates a lot of their revenues in China. And China has admitted a number of times that there is a COVID Shanghai lockdown, there is a Beijing lockdown, and the fears of a recession are growing stronger with a lot of pressures in the supply chain. And it's really impacting Apple. Now, you might say that Bitcoin and Apple are not correlated. Why don't we actually check that? Because if you just create an indicator here, as in compare or add a symbol, say the SPY, the S&P 500 here, you could clearly see that when the S&P 500 falls, it actually has a higher chance that the Bitcoin also falls. So it is a little bit important for you. Let's take a look at it superimposed so that same percentage scale. Nope, not that. Or new pane. So here, I'm not sure if you can see it, but this is your S&P 500. And around November, the markets have been correcting in USA with the Fed interest rate hikes and the macroeconomy showing that it is highly negative on inflation. You can see that since then it has been dropping. And although S&P 500 tried to rally, this is actually a lower high for your Bitcoin and a lower high for S&P 500. So we are trying to be cautious here in telling you that there is a huge correlation between today's earnings and Bitcoin's prices. And so from a crypto market perspective, be careful though, because this earnings segment tonight is going to impact Bitcoin heavily. And of course, if Bitcoin starts to fall below 38,000, the supports are very hard to determine. The support could be 30,000, as I said, somewhere here about 29, which coincides to your support here around July and around January 2021. Or it could be even worse, although I don't know how bad it could really be, depending on what Amazon and Apple really reports tonight. But because it is a highly it's a very important event. I would say that for those who are exposed to Bitcoin, you have to be on the careful side. Careful. Okay, so we're still seeing that the bears are still actually on the favorable note here, as the shorters of Ethereum here at 4.8 continues to see a lower print here at 3.6, and nowadays at 2.9, you're still seeing lower highs for Ethereum, which suggests to us that since we're still at lower highs, you are still really seeing that the supports can go down with an extension towards here to about $2,000 or 1.8. So be careful because there could be a huge sell-off. I'm not trying to warn you because of an empty threat. It's really a high possibility that if Apple and Amazon actually fails, Ethereum and Bitcoin will also go down. So let's take a look at just the positioning today of Apple. Apple is here actually already trading at 157, and if it breaks $150, that support can lead all the way to 140 or even worse. Now you're taking a look at Amazon here. Amazon is also declining, and it's been in a sharp decline for the last few months already. And you're seeing that this high of 3.8 has been retesting this level of about 2.7. If Apple and Amazon breaks down, the breakdown of Amazon could lead us from 2.7 all the way to 2.270. In fact, I would say a lot of people have a stop order. They would have a stop loss here on Amazon at 2.7 or 2.6, and they would actually be on the short side if Amazon will actually break down. So if you see that happening, that means that your SPY or S&P 500 might actually break down this 420 area. And how low could it go if ever Apple and Amazon disappoints tonight? You're seeing that it can fall at least this level of about 400, which is a negative 4% in the index. And that means that your NASDAQ, which owns a lot of Apple, is also potentially going to retest either this 12,000 area or 12.2. So you really have quite a shaky market nowadays because the bears indeed have the control. So if the overall markets are still bearish, I would suggest that for the Bitcoin bulls, as we have been sharing all throughout the updates, you have to be very careful. This is not a time to be bullish. It is very critical. You only become bullish if you have, number one, the support truly bouncing above. Although the problem is that even if support bounces, you've got a lot of rallies that are still resistant for your NASDAQ. You're at 14.3. Same thing happening on your S&P 500. And as I said, even if Bitcoin does go up from about 39,000, the resistance here at 42 or 43 and 48 still remains. So you still have that lower high prints. So it's a lot of difficulty for the bulls to actually succeed. And it is actually a path of least resistance for the bears to just continually fall down. So from a positioning perspective, the shorts are in the control side here. It just depends on how low the markets can go. Is it 36? Is it 32 or 29 or even worse? So a break of 29 is going to be really bad, of course, for which one? It's going to be MicroStrategy. So MicroStrategy right now is also on the downside, specifically because it is a very much levered Bitcoin ETF. So as you can see here, MicroStrategy, just like Bitcoin, is trading on the downside. You're seeing that bearish move, 900 all the way to 350, rallying back to 500 only to negate and fade it all the way to 385. The problem is that if Bitcoin, i.e. Apple and Amazon, collapses, this MicroStrategy can fall back to 320 or even worse. So because MicroStrategy is a highly levered product in terms of owning a lot of Bitcoins, it is very much a caution sign. And to be honest, yes, I am bearish. That's why I do have put options through Apple, MicroStrategy, even XLY for Amazon, and RTH for Amazon exposure on the short side. So we're also seeing the same thing happen today on most of the crypto names. Let's take a look on Silvergate Capital. Silvergate is a bank for crypto, and you could see that even after good earnings, it got faded out. So like 170, 160, and here about 145. It has since then still been falling down, and you're still seeing that the bears are still on control mode. So we are not trying to really scare you, but I'm really trying to simply just tell you the facts. And the facts are simply that you have a large negative movement. And the best way is either you are um, sidelined, cautious, or in some ways, the aggressive ones would have some shorts or put options already in place. So, and a further breakdown will include more shorts for their bearish thesis. So what it means is that the people who are already shorting Nasdaq since 14.1 or 15.1, they might have been holding on to their shorts and waiting for tonight's earnings on whether Nasdaq can continue to crash from 13.2 to about 12.9 or even worse. So the downside is still there. Be careful on that. Let's take a look at Solana here. A lot of the news actually is very much positive still on the launch of I believe Solana NFTs, Coinbase has just made a launch of their NFT product. However, you're seeing here that Coinbase didn't have much demand on their NFTs. That's why Coinbase continues to go down prior to earnings. So it's now actually trading at all-time lows from a high of 440. It's now trading at 120 or almost 70% down. And I would argue that because it has no support here at 120, the trend will still continue on the downside. And if Bitcoin and Ethereum are all threatening to the downside, it might actually lead to less and less revenues on Coinbase. As usually in a bear market, there's not enough activity to elicit people to buy a lot of coins in their portfolios. So we're seeing actually that bearish movement here on Coinbase, as well as, of course, a lot of competition. And they've been using Coinbase stock to buy a lot of crypto exchanges. We've seen Coinbase recently on the news by a Turkish crypto exchange. Let me take a look at the news here and read it for you. So Coinbase has been involved in several venture activities. Yes, they are funding the very first Bored Apes Yacht Club movie, and so that it will be in the mainstream. And then, of course, they opened the Coinbase NFTs, and says here that obviously, the Coinbase is a big fan of digital assets, and the recent thing that I saw is that Coinbase has been deploying most of their money in several Bitcoin exchanges worldwide. So here is one of them. They were able to fund Zero X Labs, that's the Central Labs, for yeah. So we can just read all the things that Coinbase has been doing recently. So Zero X Labs, the Central Labs closed 70 million Series B financing round. Coinbase NFT marketplace also makes use of Zero X's technology, that is the ZRX token sale. So yeah, so far what we've been seeing is that Coinbase has been really diversifying itself, and I think they've invested more than $3 to $4 billion already in several startups. So this is just one of them, and this Zero X protocol is already a Series B. The funding round was actually funded before by Pantera Capital, who raised 24 million and then another $15 million. You're seeing that, yeah. So let's take a look at that token ZRX. So ZRX USD. This is where Coinbase invested upon to help them on launching their protocols for the NFTs. So you can see that in 2017, that was about 10 cents, 15 cents, rallied to $2, had a drop during the bear market at about 20 cents, rallied back to $2 during the height of crypto, and then fell down all the way to 40 cents. So in fairness, it is rallying back to 90 cents. We are seeing a higher low from the past 5 years, 2017 to 2022. However, it seems as if it cannot escape that big ranges. So the ranges are very tight. Well, I don't know if you call it tight. It's very wide, sorry. It's very wide from 16 cents to $2.34. So you can see a lot of sellers as well, even at $1.20. So at 90 cents, the upside might actually just get capped here at about $1.20. And altcoins actually nowadays are really still in a very bad climate unless there are news about it. So let's take a look just on the popular meme names, meme coins. Of course, when Twitter got bought by Elon Musk, some people have been speculating, and you'll see that occasional spike and then a drop. So what's been happening recently on Dogecoin is that it always gets a pump and then dumped, pumped and then dumped. But long-term trends has been falling down for meme names, including Doge. So Doge has fallen from 80 cents all the way to about 13 cents. From the metaverse names, we're also seeing the same thing. Let's take a look at some popular Decentraland, Mana. So from about $6, it's just been dropping all the way to $1.82, not showing a good picture there. You're seeing Sandbox. Okay, let's just take a look at that. Same thing happening, $9 all the way to 250, still on a new low site. The big caps like Solana and BNB are more stable, and it's actually trading within a range. And my view is that only when Bitcoin really collapses before below 30,000 is where Solana is actually going to break below 78. So here are these levels at 99. It's just really waiting for Bitcoin to take the cue. Um, what's happening. Okay, Binance is actually right now still here in the middle zone, $390. The problem is that if it breaks 340, then you get more collapses. So right now, crypto is still in shaky ground. I would argue that you have to assume that this is still an overpriced territory, and a break of 340 can go all the way to 240. So not a good sight. And we're seeing that the market is pretty weak in the crypto markets, and we would caution people who are actually looking into either enter crypto, beware, as there might be downside, pretty big downsides ahead. There's a huge correlation obviously on equity markets and interest rate hikes with crypto. So that would be it. I think it's a wait and see moment, but almost all the charts are pointing to the downside. So I would say that keep safe and be sure to be fast if you are on the wrong end. And congrats to those who are shorting and are in stable coins or whatsoever. All right, that's it. Thank you very much. Bye bye.